Another day is here. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show. Billies our hope, so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's all we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes to WB. And all the things that will feel happen like God blue skies. I love it make people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Billies, yeah. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Get up, make every day count. Don't waste it, people. Do your part, play a role, get where you need to. You can tune in from work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait till the time calling is a show it no matter even if you're at home. Just call in, WB. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion and place your calling, WB. Be yourself, see yourself, this is a show, my people. Billies our hope, so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's all we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes, WB. And all the things that will feel happen like God blue skies. I love it make people get victimized. Let's work together for better, we got to unite. Billies, yeah. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion
Good morning, Belize. Welcome to the WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. It's Tuesday. It's the 21st of January 2025. I'm Mose Hyde, and I'm hosting today. Yes, and you are here with us, and we are very pleased about that. First part of the day, you're up, you wake up, and you link, and that's great. And we hope you stay. And more importantly, we hope we hear from you. That's what we hope to achieve here this morning, hearing from you. This is Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes, Belize's premier morning conversation, and we trust that you have started your day with great health that makes you rich. And we hope that you have great energy, your vibrations are positive, and that you got enough space and flexibility in your morning for jumping. We want you to jump in. So, if you're to listen to Creme, we good. You're to watch XTV, we great. You're on our apps, beautiful. You're on our social media streams, good and strong. We are back on YouTube. Get back with channel. Right, Christy? Okay. We're back. XTV Belize, we get back with thing. Good. Yes, resolved. And if you're getting us via simulcast coverage, then excellent. We invite you to stick around. We start off, as you should know, with the warm-ups. We've got a bit of news from our news team. But before that, we turn to the National Meteorological Service to tell us all about the weather. Yeah, we find out about your weather forecast right here. We've got forecaster Tariq Matthews to line us up.
Morning, Belize. Relatively moist and somewhat unstable conditions prevail. The 24-hour forecast, cloudy skies with sunny breaks today and cloudy at times tonight. A few showers or light rain will affect mainly central and coastal areas at first, gradually spreading to most areas by afternoon. A decrease in shower activity is expected this evening. Then, a few showers, periods of rain or isolated thunderstorms will affect most places tonight as our next cold front approaches the country. The maximum temperatures for today will reach 82 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 83 inland and 70 up in the hills. The low temperatures for tonight will be around 73 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 71 inland and 64 up in the hills. The winds from the open sea will be from the east-southeast at 5 to 15 knots, and the sea conditions will be choppy to moderate. A low tide will occur this morning at 8:56, a high tide this evening at 2:53, another low tide tonight at 10:39, and another high tide early tomorrow morning at 4:13. The sun will rise this morning at 6:26 and will set this evening at 5:41. The moon will set this morning at 11:18 and will rise just after midnight at 12:21. In the sargassum forecast, there is a small chance that a few sargassum mats could affect coastal destinations. However, impacts are expected to remain minimal. The outlook for Wednesday and Wednesday night, mostly cloudy skies with cool conditions. A few showers or light rain will linger around the country. Then shower activity will decrease on the mainland Wednesday evening and night, except for some coastal and offshore areas. For a review of our forecasts and other products, please visit our website at nms.gov.bz. With that, we end this morning's forecast from the Belize National Met Service.
Private radio in Belize since 1989. Creme FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news.
News this morning, the class license application by Starlink Belize LLC to offer SpaceX's Starlink satellite internet service to Belize has been denied. However, the Public Utilities Commission will allow end users to bring in Starlink devices for particular instances and situations. Those include unserved or underserved areas, vessels and aircraft, and emergency situations like natural disasters. The PUC's communications manager, Sheena Garnett, provided details during a press conference on Monday.
The other part of the decision is that existing users of Starlink services or who have their terminals here in the country, we are requiring them to register those equipment with the PUC within 60 days of this decision. So that brings us to around March, right? And again, and going with new users' requests, right? The new users' requests that we receive will be evaluated on a case-by-case basis. And of course, they must adhere to PUC's importation of equipment process. And we do have our Spectrum online center on our website where that application can be, they can retrieve the application, and then everything is online. So they would they would apply online, they would pay online, they would receive alerts online. Right.
We asked if the PUC took into consideration the expansion plans of existing service providers into those same underserved and unserved areas. Abraham Tech, the PUC's Director of Regulated Services, stated that there are areas where existing service providers will never be able to service.
When it comes to unserved areas, there are always going to be some areas within the country that it will not be economically feasible for any licensee to extend service to. From an engineering standpoint, if let's say that you live behind 4 mountain tops, I could design you a network that I put a tower on the top of each mountain top and I provide you with service. Will I ever recover my monies? Not likely. So that's where we see that the Starlink or Starlink-like or satellite end users will always be required. Where will competition come in? Yes, we only hear about Starlink today. But once you read our decision, you're going to see that Starlink is not the only player in this market. You have Jeff Bezos with Project Kuiper coming online shortly, and some other players that are also going to play in this field. So similar like today, you could buy a package from your favorite mobile service provider, let's say company B, and then company S comes in and gives you a better offer, you will do a change. So that's where the customers will also have a potential to change. And likewise, if we're serving presently and allowing for the service to be where there's the intent of any of our ISPs that have the ability to grow their networks and they provide coverage in that area, then it's really be left to the market forces to the customer to decide, am I getting a better deal from Starlink still or getting a better deal from the local ISP?
What led Lance Corporal Alfredo Robinson, the second in command of a BDF patrol on the ground in Deep South at the Kwikesako Patrol Base to fire multiple shots with his service-issued .223 rifle, fatally injuring his colleague, Private Clive Bizer. Bizer had been serving for more than 22 years in the force. The tragic incident happened Sunday night after 8. On Monday, the commander of the Belize Defense Force, Brigadier General Azariel Loria, shared what he has learned so far.
From what we have been updated so far is that yesterday, Private Bizer and Lance Corporal Robinson were bantering essentially outside on the veranda of the building where they are occupying it. And it is when the Lance Corporal decided to go inside of the building. He got a smack, a big smack from Private Bizer with allegedly using some words by go inside and leave me alone. Because of the bantering, I think that the bantering was getting heavier, but the smack, it could be, some could classify it as a sucker punch. It was too hard. Probably that is what got to the Lance Corporal. and he went inside the building, cranked his weapon or cocked his weapon in the military term for it, and came in back outside and pulled the trigger. So the character or the behavior of Lance Corporal Robinson, from what I got to understand after talking to the men on the ground and the commanding officer out there, is that he used to be, or he is reserved in nature. He's reserved. He often is secluded. He likes to seclude himself.
After 7 soldiers who occupied the building where the shooting occurred, Private Brandon Guzman was returning from peeing in the bushes when he received 2 injuries from bullets believed to have ricocheted. He is in a stable condition. The patrol commander was using the bathroom. The police report indicates that the other 3 soldiers were also on the veranda of the building at the time, along with Bizer and Robinson. 8 shells and a live round were recovered from the scene. Authorities are still investigating if there was any bad blood between Bizer and Robinson, but so far, lawyers says they believe it may have been a one-time incident. Notably, Robinson was part of the patrol in San Antonio some months ago when another soldier lost an M4 carbine. At that time, he also declined to provide a urine sample. While Robinson was reported to still be in shock up until around midday Monday and police are investigating the matter, lawyer says he grossly overreacted as force regulations would have required him to submit a complaint against Bizer to his superiors. Laurier says they are mourning over the incident. We also asked about the accusation expressed on a Facebook page Sunday that the incident is an effect of the low morale of soldiers at this time.
I will take the opportunity here to express our condolences too, because I know that we are hurting. The profession of arms, the militaries around the world, we all know that it is a risky business because we do handle powerful weapons, military weapons, that can hurt people if we do not properly train, if we do not know how to properly handle them. So we always emphasize on training. And that also go hand in hand with our leadership, our attitudes on how to ensure that whenever we have instances like that, how the leaders, how the patrol commanders will be able to confront a situation like that. It's what it's one of the risks, one of the many risks of our profession, the profession of military arms, that we have to deal with. Hence the reason we continue to train, maintain our training readiness so that when we go out there on operations, we can also maintain our operational readiness.
Robinson is from San Vicente Village in the Toledo district. During news time Monday evening, reports were received of 2 shooting deaths on the Philip Golson Highway near the Crooked Tree Junction. The deceased have been identified as pharmacist Adelita Gillett and her partner Felix Martinez. They were traveling in a red SUV. Reports are that police recovered a gun from the scene and are investigating if it is a case of murder-suicide or they were ambushed. Last Thursday, a road traffic accident near mile 47 on the George Price Highway near Cotton Tree claimed the life of 50-year-old Belmopan market vendor Maria Carl. She and her employer were traveling in a gray pickup truck which collided with a dark Chevy Camaro. The driver of the Camaro fled the scene. On Monday, Compol Williams said they have yet to find him.
I don't think we have found that person as yet, no. He was still being sought by the police.
How could they have evaded if that just bushes and...
Well, the amount of time he had a good lead before the police got there. He perhaps know the area well, and so he was able to escape. We're hoping that we'll be able to find him.
Carl's family are asking the public for financial assistance to raise Belize $3,400 to cover funeral expenses. Carl, a market vendor in Belmopan, was the mother of 7 children. If you wish to donate, you can call 633-7008. And that ends this news update. We'll take a break now. After the break, we open up for conversation. You are listening to Creme Radio, you're watching XTV Belize. We'll be right back.
the first private radio in Belize since 1989.
You call. Just call the right number, 280-5848. It's as easy as that. You could get in. This is Wake Up Billy's Morning Vibes. Tuesday morning, 21st January 2025. In the era of Trump. Yes, that is real. And we invite you to be a part of the conversation, of course. That's what we expect. The world, the whole world, I'm sure including many Belizeans, yes, so too, not just Belizeans that live in the United States of America, took a time out yesterday and recognized they had to stop and see the new president. But we have a call. Krem, good morning, WUB. Good morning. Hello?
Yes, good things are among.
Yes, sir.
I just want to say thank you to Sister Yaya and to your program, Prem, the People's Voice. Yes, indeed, in regards to my problem with the BCBI and the NHI, I am registered. I've been registered by Mercy Clinic for almost 5 years now, but for some reason they keep hiding or denying me that right. So, but I thank again, Prem, the People's Voice. One love, respect.
Yeah. Give thanks. All right. This is Wake Up Billy's Morning Vibes, and we are officially now under the rule of Donald Trump. Now, we are not Americans, and we don't live in America, but that's how powerful the country is. I often refer to it as the empire. And it is an empire by all definition. It's the world's greatest military, and it's not a nation that you'd say stays onto its own. They're all over the world, exerting its interests, agendas, and policies. And so when it has a president, kaboom, it's a new president, and so you're under the rule of the new commander-in-chief. That's my opinion. And so, of course, this particular leader is not your regular standard issue president. He different. And no normalizing efforts by the Western media can change that. In fact, to a great extent, the normalizing of Mr. Trump by Western media, in particular the American media, not the ones that are just completely in love with him. I'm talking about the regular issue media, newspapers, everything. Trust me, they've kind of packaged and smoothed off and okayed. And so that's, again, as American reality, we don't have a choice in that matter. We just have to know how to handle the business, or at least try. When you're small, you have to be bright. When you not got big guns, you have to have good brains. So anybody who leads one country like Belize, you have to be, you're demanded, you're expected, and to make your country survive, you have to be bright. Under this particular barrier, you better find a way to get evenly brighter. In ordinary times, he ain't an ordinary guy, and I completely disagree with the ambassador to the U.S., Ambassador Young, that the new president, his greatest challenge is that there is uncertainty. I do not have that understanding at all. I feel that you know what you get with that guy. Yes, he's random and he tweets and whatever and all of that, but you know what you're going to get with that guy. There is no uncertainty there. He has not changed. He is who he is. And all you need to do, since he has been in the White House before, is to see what he has been about. And he's extremely consistent. In fact, you can go and find out the history of him and you know who he is. There's no uncertainty, there's no mystery. He's not an unknown at all. There are guarantees on this guy, what he's about. So there was no shock, surprise that he has on day one withdrawn from the climate change. There's no surprise to anyone that he has taken the US out of the World Health Organization. These are not surprises. He's not unpredictable at all. And so the leadership of any country, in particular, small countries that are so near and linked in such significant ways, as pointed out by the ambassador, trade and hemispheric policies and control and all of that, you better know how to handle your candle. You have to know how to handle your candle, and that's where we are. It's not every day we get up and spend a lot of time talking about US politics. In fact, I talk about US politics like if I had to socialize. I don't talk about US politics within this space, because that's them people business. But again, in a very small way, we had one of the experience with how much we depend on borrowed space, many different ways. One of the most popular social media apps, the TikTok, and unfortunately, we still not get to the level we're part. Like, you can go and read up TikTok commerce in a place like Jamaica, and the number of young people, a lot of young people from out of the hood. In fact, when things start at Jamaica with TikTok, people start get killed. Could go and read that up, because they use TikTok for make money. And when I say make money, I mean make nice money. Now we got people, I believe, where they make $1 for a Facebook page, and we do have Belizeans where they make $1 money off of IG, and we do have some Belizeans where they make money off of OnlyFans. It's there. And for those old timers, you might be there saying, "What the hell is OnlyFans?" Well, we're not going down that road. That more deep. But TikTok, that's not for we, and we're not going to control over that. To make you as a Belizean have access to TikTok, you have to get it off of one US platform. So you could talk all the way you want, but all that and your business, that and your affair. But if you're a Belizean where develop your TikTok thing, you gone through and Lee hurdle over the last couple of days, because the light's gone out on TikTok. Now it has returned because the new president say, bring back TikTok. We're going to call. Krem, good morning. WB.
Hey, good morning.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, one question or two questions. The question are, You got the Mayan people, you got the Midnight people. When people living in their own area, but we living in the city can't go up in the spot of the town, but then go up the city and get peace of land and get it. But I just and we live with that, like the two politicians, they don't want to say issue, the Mayan issue and the border issue. But the Midnight thing, they got their own segregation of the country, and we just say, no, the Canada, like the city and things like that. I give thanks to Quinn because Quinn devout to the black people and things and the association and I really understand but I guess for the system. Alright, big up.
Alright, my brother, respect. I hear you with that. So I just want to finish off on this matter because TikTok I think is back on. I do have a TikTok. I am a subscriber. I've never used it. I have a Facebook page. There was a time I used to put up stuff, and I can't tell you the last time I've ever put something on Facebook. I have an Instagram. I don't. It's been a while, but I do have all the social media besides YouTube, which YouTube is linked business-wise, which brings up the whole thing that we are back on YouTube. And so we were off, and that was traumatic not to be on yesterday. It's good to be on. YouTube is, of course, owned by Google. I do use IG, Instagram, which is owned by Facebook. And I, from time to time, will, it's more a photo-based thing, and I take some photos and would put it up on Instagram, but you would never hear me come here in the morning and say, oh, check me out at, Madaraka this and promote my social media pages or anything like that. I keep that as just something that is there, but I'm not caught up. But I completely acknowledge, listen, social media empowers, and I feel like people need to do better at utilizing it. People do, but there's so much more that can be done, especially from a business standpoint, for utilizing it for make money, because these people are making money off you. And how we know that these people are making money off you is that I didn't watch the inauguration, but I read a lot of the coverage articles and so on about the inauguration. I had no interest in listening to that guy. I couldn't know what he say and how he going on. And I just don't have the view that the ambassador has. This guy, you don't know what he want to do. He hides his hand. Like, he hear him, scare him, but he's always true to who he is and what he's about, and he's about himself. And so I don't have no mystery about this guy. But we got on call. Good morning, WUB. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Morning, Mose. This is Sandra Crow. I'd like to review. I think we should review a couple of the things that Mr. Trump said. Well, Mr. Trump, is evidence going to turn the United States back down, inside out? And it's left to the rest of us whether we are going to allow ourselves to be hot and put, as we change in Belizean lingo. We have to be hard and put, because if we don't all understand exactly what is being said and then make our decisions on how we stand on those things, then we are going to be definitely hard and full, and to our detriment. We will suffer. America will suffer, but they have to figure that out. We have to figure out whether we are going to survive or we are going to participate in the lunacy, which will take us all down the road to our destruction. Let's look at the foreign policy. The the overall foreign policy and then the specific foreign policy as defined in the Middle East. Well, we are told by the new Secretary of State plus the ambassador, the envoy, they are calling him to the Middle East, that at the top of the agenda is respect for the sovereignty, the sovereign rule of nations. Well, if that is so, then why are you seeking to take over the Panama Canal? Why are you seeking to take over Greenland? Why are you doing that? Because that contradicts that statement you're making on sovereign control. Which, by the way, we are being told the Americans invented. They didn't invent sovereign control. That was defined in a treaty almost 400 years ago by the Europeans. They set about a treaty amongst themselves to stop that precise problem of people encroaching and seeking to take over this little pocket of us, because that had happened. Non-stop it had happened. So they didn't invent that. They were told they invented the international order. They didn't invent that either. The international order began to be laid with the establishment of the nation state, the consolidation of the nation state, and then all the intervening actions that took place between then and now. They're all points on a continuum. They did not invent it, but for damn sure they are messing it up. It wasn't proper in the first place. It needed to be constantly upgraded. But instead of upgrading, downgrading. That's what has happened. So, if you tell me that sovereign control is at the top of your list in dealing with other countries, then why are you also telling me that to solve these old, ancient beefs, as they say on the streets, quarrels, what you really need is economic development. But have we gone down that road, the foremost of economic development then will solve everything? Have we gotten the solution? No. We haven't gotten it. Because you can't go into a continent and decide that the people who predate your society, who have established civilization for almost 5,000 to 7,000 years, you are going to tell them, listen, that land you're living on doesn't belong to you, give it to me, I want it. And they will walk off, lock their tail between their legs, say, yes, master, here is the land, and then try and figure out where they are going to live. And you are now arguing this quarrel of 100 years, well, just 100 years thereabout, from the bandits, for a people who lay down the foundations of your mathematical knowledge on which you are going to build quantum computers. These are the people you're planning to do that, you want to do that to? How is that going to work, Mose?
Can I ask Ms. Coy, because you would have more access to Central American commentaries and news than I do, particularly because of the language. Has there been any rallying of support at all for Panama? I don't hear it, and I'm like shocked that we have not had at least the rhetoric of courage to say, if you speak to Panama like that, if you are asked, do you rule out using the military to take over? He was asked this in a press conference. Do you rule out using the military to take over the canal? And he said no.
Yes, he was asked that, and he said that he's not going to
He's
answer
not
that
going.
because he doesn't rule it out.
He doesn't rule it out. How can the countries, in particular Central America, but the Caribbean as well, not object
Exactly, and object loudly at it. This meeting look at what happened yesterday. The border is sealed off now. So all the people who were slated for the appointment are now crammed back into the Mexican side in areas where they are kidnapping people or harming people, and the Mexican government said, well, this was a unilateral action, we're going to have to figure out what to do. I don't think these people understand history more. When the European tribes, we have to look at Rome, but if you don't study this history, if you don't want to study, then you will not be able to fight this situation. When the barbarian tribes, when the Rhine River flowed in 407 AD, and the barbarian tribes began to move, it would take them 3 years to reach Rome, and they died in their tens of thousands. We don't know how many because they were illiterate. They didn't have records, they didn't keep notes. They kept oral memories. They died. When they reached Rome, but they understood the problem. So when they got to Rome, and they sent the envoys to them, they told the envoys, we want 2 things. All your slaves and all your gold. The envoys replied, but you leave us nothing. The response of the leading Germanic/Gothic leader was, we leave you your lives. The German tribes understood that by removing this, because they were the slave base of the Roman Empire at that time. By removing the slave base, the Roman participants weren't going to be able to think for themselves. And by removing the gold base, the monetary base, they couldn't do anything. They couldn't wage a war. And we are leading, if the Caribbean and Latin America, and if somebody in this region doesn't stand up and say, but man, we have to speak out on this thing. We can't leave this to go just like this. Because it is a case of today you, tomorrow me. That is what will happen.
Well, of all the countries that should not be quiet, when we hear
we were supported by Panama.
When we hear the president of a country that has nuclear weapons say that they are not ruling out military means to take over the canal on the basis that he has decided that the Panamanians have violated the terms of the treaty for the canal.
Yes, he has decided it. This has not been decided in any court.
No court.
By any group of people.
No
it's
court.
A one-man decision of violation.
So we have to live in our real world and our dream world and
this is it, world.
and understand that the generals in Guatemala are listening to that and are saying, yeah, you cannot believe that the things that he is saying is not having an impact. You have
resonating with people.
His rhetoric is aligned with some hardline views in Guatemala that the terms of the 1859 treaty were broken, and okay, so now we live in a new era now where we're not talking ICJ anymore. We're talking
exactly, Mose. That is, he withdrew from the World Health Organization yesterday and the Paris Agreement. So my question to our leadership, so when the next pandemic breaks out, we are still going to be taking in tourists coming out of America when these people are not going to be, they have decided to go wrong. What we have in a situation now is where the United States, from the evidence, has decided they will uproot and do what they want. The world is there, but the world is not there. And nature don't run joke with you, man.
But you see,
this is what our leaders have to understand. Nature does not run joke. agree with you.
So I think the point that I was kind of working my way up to when speaking about the social media apps was to say one of the things that stood out yesterday was that the places of prominence in the seating for the inauguration went to the tech barons, and they were all there. The controller of Google, the owner of Facebook, of course the owner of Twitter and the world's richest man. He was the first to line up. I believe you have the owner of Amazon was there. These are some of the richest human beings on the planet.
And this brings me to the next point, Lord. Well, before I get to that quickly. So they lay out this situation. So you're going to develop the economic, you're going to get rid of your forest. Not pay no attention to the old forest. Just let me look at the economic development. But how are you going to look at economic development when, as you said yesterday correctly, genocide cannot be negotiated away? There are crimes that have been committed that cannot be negotiated away and should not be negotiated away, because if you negotiate them away, it's only a matter of time before that crime will be committed against you. That's the second point made by Mr. Enzoy. The fourth point is that what was the fourth point he made? A very significant one on the problem. Oh, reciprocity. That American foreign policy everywhere and in the Middle East will be based on reciprocity. No longer will they be giving you anything, grants and aid and Millennium Challenge and all of that. That's not coming your way. If you get anything, you have to give us back something. That's what reciprocity means. Now, I have no problem with reciprocity anymore. I support, endorse, subscribe to reciprocity. However, if what you own, you have raped from me, ravished me to get what you have, then I presume that I have a vested interest in some of what you own, right or wrong, no?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I can't go and steal from you either, but you must understand that before we can do any business, we have to sit down to work out what you owe me, and then you will, because you have taken my resources, you have taken my cheap labor, you have taken my Mose. This is a true story. Years ago, over 60 years, 50, 60 years ago, I had a friend who one day was walking home with me. I was going to my residence, and we stopped by a department store. And I used to like to go into this department store to look at the legs for babies. You know, the little dap. They had just started to make these little dapper tops, and then the little panty with elastic. And I had sewed these for my cousin when she was a baby. So they would make these molds, and they were this beautiful pastel colors. So every time I went in, I checked to see if they had a new color. So it started out, they used to make pink and blue, and then later on they made a pale yellow, and then they got to a beautiful lime green, and then a light lavender. So I just was fascinated by the colors and the embroidery. And these things were made in the Philippines. So one day, I don't remember how I did the research, how I found out. I must have been in my questioning. I found out that to produce one of those units cost something like 75 cents at that time. Everything, the cloth, the labor, everything. But how could that be? Because I used to do them for my uncle's little girl as a baby. Before that, long before that, when my mother is to her friends when they had babies was always a lay. And mommy would sew them at her time because mommy worked. And then when I learned to embroider, I embroidered them. In the beginning, she embroidered them. But later on, when I learned to embroider, I embroidered them. And so I would do all these satin stitching and lazy bases and French knots. Oh, and it was a joy when mommy washed those and put them on the line, and then she would lay them all out, cast an iron and fold it and packed away to give us a gift. So I knew it couldn't have been 75 cents. And this is years ago. It couldn't have been more. The time. And those baby clothes were beautiful. So this friend this day comes along with me and he said, what son, you want to get a baby? I said, no, I like to look at them because I made them for my cousin when she was a baby. I said, and so I'm fascinated. And then about a little later on, he told me that, I think I'm going to do my pieces on labor production costs and the other attendant costs of those baby clothes that you took me to see the other day. I said, what? Then I told him, I don't think I would do that. So whoever is running that doesn't want that cost interfered with. He didn't listen to me. He was murdered in the door of his hotel, and he was from no low-level social class. He never tried it. They murdered him because he was challenging the system. And he wouldn't listen. He would not listen. So they were on joke. That was the Philippines. The cheap labor that was obtained in the Philippines is unbelievable, Mose. Unbelievable. And the price that was paid for it. The price that was paid. And not only the Philippines, but for me that is iconic because I actually saw it at a time, this is way before 75, way before 1980, when all the civil wars were raging all over Latin America. So the wealth has come at a price, and the price is the literal destruction of people in Africa, in Latin America, in parts of Asia. It has come at that price. So I don't understand how you're going to tell me reciprocity when your wealth is based on my sorrow and my pain and my blood and my death. We can't use that word. That's an improper word to allow. But this man, Mr. Envoy, defined 4 principles guiding, and the other man defined the 2 guiding principles. America first, and principle 2, America top and bottom and first again. So anyway you look at it, then it was such a guiding principle mode. How you're going to tell me you're going to be building an equitable world, a just world, a compassionate world. That was the word used by Mr. Price, Mr. William Trump. Compassionate world. Compassion not figuring none of that, don't you agree?
Unless he has a different dictionary than the one that I used as a child. So, which is possible.
What you really want are what those tech barons there signify. To build your quantum tech computers, you are going to need water resources unimaginable. Where are you going to get it from? In a world where the water resources are being grossly depleted, where are you going to get that water from? So that water humans will have to compete with the demands of your quantum computers for the water. And you have decided that the quantum computers take precedence over human life. Wouldn't you agree with me that that's where we're heading on?
Well, when they were serving the oil barons, that's the way they treated human lives. And now that the tech barons are now the rulers of the empire, that remains the founding ideology and value system, their interest before anything else. That's
before anything else. At a time when the survival of human life on the planet is in a most fragile state. You think that the fires in LA are going to stop? Look, Portugal was burning just a while ago. Just a while ago, fires unseen. In Central Europe, fires flood unseen.
well,
So you can't, and more.
well, that's why they want. Well, that's why they want Greenland, because the extreme rich will be able to go and live there in paradise conditions. So,
Well, they may think they are going to live there. They have decided, Mose, in my opinion, they have decided to melt the world down. They have decided there's an economic benefit in climate change. Would you agree with that or not?
for elite interests, absolutely.
There's a benefit in climate change. And that climate change will now be provoked. So you're going to drill, burn. Yesterday, the president said that China is dropping soot all over the place. We are breathing it in, so why are we worried? You just everybody just join the soot dropping and the fall air quality. That's what he told us. But if they're going to do that, they know jolly well that Greenland will melt down, and Greenland is the thermostat of the world together with Antarctica. If Greenland ceases to exist, we write off our existence. Do you agree with that, don't you, Mo?
Well, I don't have a choice. It's a science, right? So
The science. So we cannot afford individually, collectively, small islands, big islands, mainland countries, Central America, Caribbean, and we can't afford to go along with that program to melt down Greenland. And I presume eventually to melt Antarctica, because if you're going to melt Greenland, you must go melt Antarctica too. And you cannot do that and have life survival on this planet. So we have to make up our mind. We in the third world in court, in the Caribbean, matter where we stand. We can't just stand on the wayside and rock our hand and say, make a wait to see what will happen. That's not what happens. It's not going like that. It is not going to go like that, because these people are determined to get what they want, and what they want will end in the destruction of all of us. None of us will be able, including them. None of us will go to Rome. When Rome fell, where were the elite? Rome collapsed. When the barbarian tribes reached Rome in 407, Rome had long collapsed because of the decadence. Long collapse. All the barbarian tribes did was deliver the final death blow. Same thing happened to Baghdad, to the Islamic Empire. When Attila reached Baghdad, Baghdad was already destroyed by decadence. So it was unbelievable, those things, this matter of the foreign policy and this matter of the decision on climate and health are of super importance to our survival. You agree with that, right, Mo?
again, it's not a matter of a choice. The science is a science, right? Facts are facts. So
okay,
you can't get around that. You can't worry about whether or not you'll be frying and water is going to be coming over your coastlines.
If Greenland melts, the sea rise will be so phenomenal that the entire coastline virtually of the North American, Pacific, European continent will disappear on the water. Greenland is land that has so much ice. It's compacted on that land surface that it has pushed that land surface down below sea level.
Before I go to break, just to say that the tech barons and their behavior says it all, right? Elon Musk was the first. And essentially what I think has happened is that Elon Musk has said to the other ones, no, he want to do what we want. So on the country. And they have all gone, they've kissed the ring, and now they sit down and, you know, the person who projects himself to be the nice guy for a long time, Mr. Zuckerberg, all of a sudden, he's now saying that he was wronged because there was this attempt to control the accuracy of speech and information on his platform, that he was wronged because there was an attempt to contain the action of hate groups on his platform. So essentially now is that all that has been unleashed on us, and so
People can tell you anything and it will be the truth. And not only that, Mose, I was unaware until last night that Mr. Mose has withdrawn from the command.
He's been kicked out, really. He's been kicked out. He's been kicked out. He's been kicked out.
He has removed himself from it. So I don't know why.
No, he's been kicked. I've read that he's been kicked out. Listen, you know.
He was kicked out?
He was kicked out, yes. He was kicked out.
Why?
Well, they're saying that, you know, well, the article that I read said, no, this is a white boy's thing, and sorry, you all want to be. That's the article that I read.
That is again the next problem. The Indians consider themselves white, and they do have Aryan blood. When the Aryan tribes, they turned east and west, but when they got to India, there was an existing civilization that was very dark in black in some of them, and they intermingled. So that's the Indian problem. Same problem as America has. The same problem they have. They don't understand. And no matter what the three priests, the three pastors, the three churchmen they used yesterday, one was a rabbi. I believe the second one is that was an American pastor that went into negotiation with the campaign, and the third one was here black, you know?
For what?
The three persons who gave the benediction.
Oh, there was a Muslim. There was a Muslim.
Oh, it was a Muslim?
It was a Muslim, yeah.
So there was a rabbi and a Muslim?
There was a Muslim, yes. Yes.
Okay, and then the third person was the Latin American.
I'm not certain, but there was a Muslim. I read about that. Ms. Kobe, I got to go to break, but thank you very much. It's time for 2 Cents Calm, sponsored by Fort Point Security. We'll take a break, come back. This is Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. We'll be back. Stick around. All right, welcome back to the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. Tuesday morning, 21st January 2025. Mose Hyde hosting today. And we invite you to jump in. The telephone number is 280-5848. That's the live line for you to be a part of this conversation. We love when you jump in and express your point of view and how you see things. That's just how it works around here. You know, they have to give a sermon. We want to engage and reason, and you know how the thing work. We have a call. Good morning, WB.
Morning, everything good?
Yes, sir. Morning.
Morning. Earlier I came spray starting, right? And also with the Caribbean country was about this whole Panama. What we could put up press release, like, I don't know if people watch for America operate. There, when they say they want to do something and they want to do it, they're willing to go to war. They don't care about, you know, that is what happened on Iraq. They don't care about the consequences that everybody has, as long as they achieve any goal, everybody else will go. Because what's Israel, Hamas and the whole Palestine in one. They people knowing that the people made that war, they don't care about that.
So, like, how many times you call this talk show already?
First time, second time.
For the first time, second time. But you have called other talk shows, or?
No, really.
Okay. So the reason why I asked that, enough for you, I don't make fun of you calling or nothing like that, is to say respect for calling. And to say that you might have, and I'm sure you do, you have to listen to me through the phone and not the device, because when you're not put on delay and feedback and so on. Hello? Yeah. You still listen to me through your, whatever it is, you have to listen to me through the phone and turn on the volume pan where you listen to the show pan, because you got feedback and so on. All right, so you have people who are in the position, but why call and talk show? Not know what you say matter. You got people that say, I don't know why you even got on talk show, because I come at this talk show and enough times I might say something, you know, change how things go, you know, change what powerful people do. But it's important for we go up on the record. So I use that as a comparison to say, yeah, I don't know that Central America and the Caribbean could stop America from do what you want to do. But in my understanding of how things should be, you're duty bound to stand up in solidarity, not just because you have self-interest, but definitely when you have self-interest and your own survival too. When you see what happened to somebody with a part of your area, and you know that set one example will jeopardize you, man, and you don't got nuclear bomb, we don't got gun, we don't got none of anything there. But at the least, what we have to do, that put the voice on the record and have some bit of courage. You know, see my point there?
Yeah, I think if we can understand why my question was, what we could do as a Caribbean, my question, I get that figure out, what we could do as a Caribbean continuation together. My question was, what can we do?
Oh, okay. So you were not saying that we shouldn't have a response?
No.
Okay. I misunderstood. My bad. So I don't know. I feel that one, you can not do something. So that we stand. And I no claim to be one foreign affairs genius or anything like that. Where I hope and where I want, and where I think we should all want and expect, is that the highest level of leadership of the region, that they are coordinating one position and they let it be known, and that they are not just coding away and just say, oh boy, I'm not getting at that. No, that is where I'm speaking against. No, I agree with you that it has to be thought out. It has to be the most effective means of solidarity we could find with the region. but you can't just stay quiet. He started this, he put this out a couple weeks now, and I am stunned that the man get inaugurated, included it in his inauguration speech. So now it's no longer something off the record, and to my mind, the region and leaders still not really say anything. Like they appear to me either not very organized, coordinated, or not interested in having something to say on the record, and that is concerning to me.
Or maybe they have done something in the background because the other things are like bricks, bricks are one of the things we're really checking where the Americans shouldn't buy it because they are like okay and no, I agree 100% because people understand what to follow American history, right? When they want something identity, they agree, right? And the minute you know the fact they trade their alliance with their agenda, they kick you off because people like that of Venezuela and Cuba, if you go back to what the history and they come to this, then we want in a very American, and the minute Venezuela says, listen, when you can't rip the punch someone on the aisle and get to the aisle part, boom, nonsense. So, we as a great nation are supposed to diversify relationships. Because we really watch it, and besides we buying US dollars to trade, and American people, this is a book to coast guard, they give vote to Guatemala because the right people don't so. So, and if you really watch the relationship, where it really benefits, it's better we jump to China, Russia, and Venezuela, and it's like a cheaper hour. I don't think about it kind of discuss this because the tendency we don't put for America from earlier. Our government like somebody put our statement and foreign affairs or something because after that put this and this. Well, it's common sense. Who you have to take over the Panama Canal and the military, the use of the military. No, like we said, so listen, they never answer it, when they ask for who is the military, they never really said no, that army, everything in a place, everything in a place. Like I said, when you watch Guatemala, it's not the buy. No quota to get out of it. You could respect what we want to think. And what's happening? Because the American are good.
100.
And then the other thing with this Paris climate change thing. I struggle. And if people do the research and understand what happens, among the coal mine, China, and Russia in the bill, if America does zero. Really, that's the work that change thing of the Ghanaian nation. In the field, they're going to work with nothing. Look, they are China in the field, coal land, Russia the building, people the building, the drilling, the everything because they contribute. India the same. So when you look back the East and start for crime, change anything, we could look really fast, but for a global scale, it ain't no different.
Yeah.
And then the World Organization, I think we got a 100% because people, if the media, journalists, and the media will think about the world, no. That's about the gun that Congress can admit that the mass and the 6 feet, so listen, they are comforting us. That's never really going to benefit in a spreading by coronavirus. And people are being get charged, people get locked up, because worldwide, people business get shut down, the economic loss, greater, that anything you're doing is
I disagree. I disagree with you. I disagree with you. No, I disagree with you, and absolutely no. Nobody can make an argument that masks were not of value. But what we can say is that the COVID pandemic was not the WHO's best moment. They were caught playing one political game with China. Again, these are legitimate criticisms of WHO. But in assessing the value of the WHO, you have to include everything. You have to think about all the work we're responsible for, and the level of interventions where you don't even know, and the amount they have to put out all manners of conditions where you face. WHO not perfect and never have its best moment against the COVID, but you can't say that this is some kind of worthless, unimportant, and an entity where you could just disregard as well, because having some process whereby you have global collaboration and integration in dealing with health, where not into borders, viruses, bacteria, infections, then they don't know border, flag, anthem, they don't know none of that. They don't know language, they don't know how you look, they don't know the color of your skin. They know what they want, they know how to infect, and they want to survive. So you can't play, oh well, I want to be off and out of that. That don't concern me, because that don't make no rational sense at all. Not because one organization or one particular mechanism have shortcomings or have some bad moments, mean you could say, well, oh, I don't want to involve with that again. I think it is an asinine position for the United States of America to take unilaterally, one person's opinion, to say, oh, I want to unplug from the only semblance of a global approach for the management of a disease. And no, you can't make the argument there to me, brother. I find it to be utterly asinine.
Remember, if I want to talk about that, even though they withdraw from the WHO, have to see people work hand in hand with WHO, right? So at the end of the day, all the time we say, that's not about it, right?
Remember this, brother. Remember this. Remember this, bro. Like, when the world's most powerful country and its largest economy unplug from an organization like that, it's not symbolic. Like, if we disconnect from it, small population, small economy, little bit of money, but when the leading economy on the planet and the world's only empire decide that they want to withdraw their support and involvement, it is significant. I don't know all the mechanics of how the WHO works, but I am sure that it needs funding, and that as members of it, you have to provide that kind of support. So it's not some kind of symbolic, just rhetorical position. This is significant, and this is you can't get away from the fact that even though I don't know all the mechanics of it, I don't see how have one negative impact upon the scope and the efficiency of the work with WHO do, like straight like that. I think it's really he exposed, like, to me, like, Blaze would have said, he act illiterate. That's how he act right upon that, like straight. Like yeah, to me, like,
our executive order come like what say it's really hard to step home with us and withdraw and without no, like, okay, well, 5 was not like this boy. We could try to fix it, you understand?
100.
Withdraw, like, I think.
Them begs that China have you would say, work your way in and have a lot of influence within the WHO, and that caused the WHO to falter at this most critical moment, for hold China accountable, for promptly provide information and so on. And to some extent, there is a legitimate argument that can be made that way kind of make the pandemic get out of the bag. But what you do, that then address that within the organization, and like you say, you fix it. You say, okay, that have to stop. You can't got no situation where part any nation have so much influence in here that then could jeopardize all the way. But just withdrawing, nah, bruh. To me,
that's the argument about the Panama Canal, so Belgium, Vermont, and China, so we have
yeah.
overcharge the American ships and fees.
Yeah. Without no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But again, the whole thing, right? And like what I said, every country needs to look for it and make the own shot because all their last summer, and so go back to the studies. I know that's how to say, but Paris, but again, Joe Biden said because he liked the Congress, and he come back, and when he put up on the planet, listen, the Mars and the Mir may help, but there is no the vaccine. How can I think they're backtrack? But no,
what they
people look for it and the boy, we understand that one mess up, but you know people go to all the good and they need to mess and have to buy and the boy.
Yeah.
But other people they say they lose their job, they lose this and other things. So they all of a sudden they just kind of broken. But if you watch from America or that poor.
You see, one of the problems is that one empire be an empire, and for it serve the interests and the people, they will often do things where hurt, where destroy other people and their interests and their own survival. Because the empire is about its empire. But one of the, no matter what you think about America's foreign policy and whatever you think about its history, whatever, having a country where you got a role where you play, I wouldn't call it like the planet's police, but he always could be the loudest voice in the room. They're not a voice without baggage, they're not a voice without his own history and whatever, evil and so on. But there was a time when he carried one level of credibility for could, say, this is where the tribe be. Even if it's a hypocritical position, there was still a dynamics where then you have one level of say, like, even though you say they enable Guatemala, you imagine that they still try to see how they could balance. The problem we got now is that any appearance of having any interest in doing that or any balance is thrown out. And now one new set of rules and value system they get put in place. We know they deal with no international organizations. We know they deal with no international agreements. We know they deal with where you worry about. No, we are being naked. We are do what we want to do, and we don't want nobody tell me nothing. And we not tell you nothing. And therein lies a great risk to a small country like Belize, when the guiding ideology of the day upon the planet become get rid of any pretense of rules, make it just be piñata style, full 100. You do what you do. We not care about nothing, cause we want to do what we want to do. Then know when you got the problem of size where we got, people will want to do we thing now, not just America, because they always get away. But now other people now start to build up for their level of aggression. Other people now start to say, yeah, that we about time, that's how we want to be. No referee, no, we don't want this game, I don't forget no referee. No, be just bare knuckles. That's a problem to we, that's a high risk environment for we, higher risk than normal. The risk is always high for a small country like Belize. But now it is now going higher. And and I just to say we talk about it because we have to have that consciousness about it.
You know, think some of the Caribbean leaders, put up because the way how the arrogance of the people they move. You know, feel like they got some kind of theory and then the boy that told us the charismatic society.
Listen, we as a region now have no great history of being prompt and courageous and collaborative and deeply integrated. I mean, just look upon where we dilapidated, how long it took we for me even have some sense of relationship with Cuba and the interest of it. For a long time, it was not popular for you even say that you sympathize with Cuba. We stay in a really lane. You imagine some people and look and say, me don't know nobody that Panama and who them people there and I don't got nothing to do. Why we even care about that if Trump say he want in Canada, well I sorry for them. They better figure that out. That better than me. You know that whole saying, you know, better he than me. Well, that's the whole some of we unfortunately think which ought to be, no make no one think you to be no upstart or anything like that. So we are staying at the safe lane. The problem with staying at the safe lane is that you enable the environment where when your turn come, who really want got anything to say about you. So you really have to understand that solidarity that one of the best ways to try to deal with a situation that began. Listen.
I think Mr. President promote and support Panameno press release where I think she promote and said that too when you talk about both America and anything she promote that and
but
you know the World Cup.
You know, Mexico a little bit different. Mexico a little bit different, and indeed the Mexican president, she has been what I call, she has not been wild, but she has had a firm voice. And she know to be wishy-washy. Respect to her. I don't know the politics of it. I don't know what I sins. I don't know none of that. I just know that she has not been some kind of she know the kiss no ring then. So at least not publicly. She know the kiss no ring. She know the take back no chat. At the same time, you know to be disrespectful or anything like that. Respect to what she has done. I just to say that where we as a small vulnerable nation state can't just pretend that we know the civil part one nuclear power, the world's greatest military, the threaten was small country about 3 or 4 million people. Could you imagine the impact on the economy if the control of the canal is taken back by America? Think about the people where right now they get one liberty after it since it has been returned. That's what we have to think about. On a human level, there are consequences when these things are put out there. So I appreciate the call. I appreciate the reasoning a lot, brother. Give thanks. I got to go to break.
Yes,
Yeah, man. Belize Morning Vibes. Tuesday morning, you could also call it Trump morning, because we've spent a lot of time talking about that guy. Not really about the guy, but I guess what his return to power is about, and in his words and actions. And we have a call. Good morning, WB.
Hey, morning, Mose.
Good morning.
Yeah, Mose, morning. I want to shift the discussion and leave it and bring it back home. Because right now, you know, the weather not nice, and because the weather not nice, our official focus on it only and work as per usual. So I want to bring back the discussion home so people could really get an understanding of how we are, as to why we are in this debt situation that we are in, this debt crisis. So if you allow me, I want to narrow it back all the way back from the euro bond to now the blue bond. So between 1998 and 2008, Belize had what was called the euro bond. And that euro bond was restructured in 2007 by the Mose administration to be called the super bond. It was then inherited by the Barrow administration in 2012 and restructured two times, in 2013, Super Bond 1, and in 2017, Super Bond 2. Now, in 2021, the Britannia administration restructured Super Bond 2 to now the Blue Bond loan. Why is this important, Mose? Do you know how much money in principal and interest we have paid over all these restructuring? Well, let me share that information, Mose, because that's the million-dollar question. You see, for the last 30 years, we have had these blue bonds or these super bonds in place. And in 2021, the Britannia administration told us that we had a national debt of $4.2 billion, sorry. And he gave the equivalent of that amount for 10,000 for every man, woman, and child. And he did so because our population at that time was little over 400,000. So if you multiply 400,000 by 10,000, you actually get $4.2 billion. But the point that I am trying to bring across, Mose, and the listeners, is because here you have TNC, the Nature Conservancy, where they beat themselves on the chest. Oh, that because of we make this blue bond deal happen. That because of we had on the ground, we had office on the ground for the last 30 years. So they had office in Belize for the last 30 years to monitor our financial situation. And they took the appropriate time to strike. Why am I saying that, Mose? Because it's TNC that set up this blue bond deal. And look at the position that they put us in. This blue bond deal is over a period of 19 years. And for the first 10 years of this blue loan, you know how much interest these people will make, Mose? They will make $40 million in interest. But you're not done there. Continue to follow me. The last every single year, the interest rate goes up. So starting 2026, the interest rate was at 6.4%. For the last 9 years of this loan, we have paid 6.4% in our interest. That's yielding another $22 million in interest. So total interest that will accrue over the life of this loan, the over $60+ million US. Now, TNT not done there because TNT recognized that Belize hard to pay. So what did they do more? They went ahead and they took out political insurance. And this insurance is for 610 million US dollars. And that insurance is costing us 800,000 US dollars annually. But you think they done that? They're not done that. They went ahead now and took out a parametric insurance. Now, TNT realized, because they have been here for the last 30 years, they realized that when June comes, it is happy. Because once hurricane, once a major flood, they going to pay their loan. So this parametric insurance ensures that in the event of a hurricane, in the event of flooding, that Belize will get their fair share and they will have to continue paying their debt. But note that all of these money and all of these services are being held outside, nothing locally, everything is outside. It's still not done there. These are the economic side of this blue bone that they talk about. It's still not done there. So what TNT did next was TNT tell the government of Belize, you know what, this will cost us $10.5 million. Belize tell TNT, well, here what, I don't got a kind of money there. So TNT said, well, okay, you don't have it, I'll give 18 a loan. So TNT and the government of Belize agreed to pay for this debt for nature swap, 10.5 million US dollars at 3% over the life of the loan. You know how much money TNT will make? More 14 million US dollars. 14 million US dollars. So we just cover the economic side of it. Now, bear with me, because we look for the 3 pillars of sustainability. Now, when I look on the ecologic side, which is the environment side. So besides TNT done milk with and take all the resources and carry outside, they have now decided that, hey, we are linked this to 8 major milestones. And we have 3 major commitments we'll have to do. One, they said that they will take 30% of our seed. And 15% of that 30 will be no-take zone. We can't do nothing of that. And that has to sign into law. The next 15, we're going to chop that up and fight up amongst themselves. The second milestone where they insist was to ensure that every single year, Belize contribute 4.2 million US dollars into conservation. That's a total of $84 million over the life of the loan. But you know, done there. Besides that yearly commitment, they also ensure that they set up a trust fund at 23.5 million US dollars, and that trust fund is being held outside, and it's earning approximately 7% interest, so that when the loan finishes, that trust fund will kick in, and it would have earned a total of 90 million US. So in reality, the conservation community have ensured that they have a conservation fund of 174 million US dollars over the first period of the loan, and when that loan finishes, that kicks in. Now, the average Belizean might not understand the length of the mathematics of what I am explaining. But this deal was set up, if you notice, I covered the first pillar of sustainability, the economic part, the bond holder gets taken care of. TNT so they could send down their scientists, they could send down their people, they could get the consultancy, and all the money go into consultancies. Now, when you look at the last phase of the pillar of sustainability, which is the social component, this is what they do to we. In 2003, they got and they get a loan for IDB, $7 million in the name of the fisheries sector. And out of that $7 million, they say, hey, we need to do a stock assessment. We need to ensure that we lobster and counts and everything in a good standing. And we are also giving a direct support to the fishers. Up to now, Mose, we can't get no information out of the stock assessment. There was no release for the fisher folks. That's all our sham. That's all our game. But you had TNT when we dip on the ground for the last 30 years. No one advised the government that, hey, on the fishing stock, they're in a serious crisis. On the can't mortgage out on the sea. But no, they see the big picture, they see the big money, because they take it to a blended finance approach. We're part of the deal with big banks and big investors. They don't care about we, the small people. But you know, done there, in 2024, just last year, the PM beat the chest and said, hey, we give the fisher folks $2.1 million in a loan for DFC, 321 fisher folks, you know. So let's just say we have an average of 4,000. We know that we have more than 3,500 fisher folks, so we are round up. Argument's sake, so we got 4,000 fisher folks. 321 of 4,000, only 8%. Only 8%. And so you beat your chest and say you send the fisher folks in a DFC. Those loans were between 8.5% and 14% more. And remember, these are loans the conservation community have been getting grants. Why is this important? It's important because the Belize Fund for Sustainable Future beat their chest and say, hey, we don't approve $22.4 billion Belize into conservation. But Mose, do you know how much NGOs are in Belize? Let's just have the argument's sake, we have approximately over 200. Do you know how much NPOs are in Belize, not-for-profit organizations? Let's say for argument's sake, we have over 600. The multi-million-dollar question is, do you know how many of those organizations have benefited from that $22.4 million that have been approved for conservation? For the NGOs, it's less than 10. Remember, we have over 200. For the NPOs, it's less than 5. And remember, we have over 600 plus NPOs. And then for the government agencies, there are approximately 6 government agencies that have been benefiting from this blue bond. So I am saying to the Belizean people that for the last 30 years, we have been paying what is known as the Eurobond, Super Bond, and now the Blue Bond. And everybody, the benefit except the people of Belize. And what the government did, because I will remind you, not only did the Prime Minister link the national debt equivalent to the national population, but he went on record to state that we have mortgaged or we have sold all our assets. And basically they did the same thing when they mortgaged out our seas, because it is not benefiting the people of Belize, it is not benefiting the fisher folks, it is not benefiting the fishing community. And there are several gaps that are still And in no document that we have reviewed that any of these, what I say, individual or the firm, there was no financial benefit attached to them. And there is no way that we can think or we can say that there was no cost related for both of these, for this individual or for this entity or for both entities. Minister Koi had went on record and said that this whole deal cost us $14 million US, but never once did he say that this was a loan to TNC, never once. Adding to that, he went on record and he had said that he would have hoped that the Blue Bond arrangement would have incorporated those of the fisher folk and not purely conservation. This is not the case. It has not been the case. And apparently, those who are managing the Blue Bond did not take this recommendation into consideration any at all. So I am appreciative that you gave me the opportunity to kind of break this down. And I want to ask you one last question, Mose. Have you been to Europe?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's very good to know. I haven't been to Europe, and I don't think I will maybe ever see Europe in my lifetime. But what I can share with the Belizean public is that throughout all the documents that myself, along with our analysts, have reviewed, we have came to realize that only one investor was mentioned, and this investor was from Sweden in Europe. So that's the only investor that we know, and these people could care less about whether our fisher folks can get out there and fish. They could care less whether they put food on their table or whether the community gets the resources that it needs in order to ensure that the impact on climate change be addressed. So it is very important that Belize and the fisher folk and those whose livelihood depend on our natural resources realize that by 2026, the government has to ensure that they sign that 30% into law. Because not only did TNC ensure that they set it up financially, but they also put some penalty clause in it, Mose. So in the event Belize would default on any of the milestones, there's a 1.25 million US dollars that Belize has to pay. 1.25 million US dollars. And the saddest part about this, this Blue Bond deal, brother, the saddest part is that there is a clause under the entire agreement that has conservation undertaking. And these conservation undertakings was to ensure that the livelihood and well-being and food security are secure. However, in that clause, it stated that there is no penalties if Belize default on not ensuring that those undertakings are materialized. And that default would come within the necessary part of its constitution. So TNC ensure that they set up themselves significantly well, that if Belize default on their milestone, we have to pay. But if Belize default on our own milestone, that just one slap on the wrist. So I am saying to the Belizean people and to my colleagues and friends who are afraid to get up and speak about this Blue Bond, that this Blue Bond was designed for long-term financing for those who are in the conservation community. And if you look at the numbers that I have outlined to you, it's a small group. I reference them as the come along, get along crew. Because if you're not part of their clique, you don't get no kind of benefit. And that's the reason why one organization like the BFF has been held back significantly. Because every single proposal that we put forward, they shut it down. Because we're not a part of a crew. So when I go to a meeting, they lambaste me, they talk in front of my face, they talk in front of my back, they throw stones, but that don't move me. Because I don't pity. I don't hold grievance. I look out for the best interest. So while they want to entertain their masters, and while they want to ensure that they do what their masters say in order to benefit, I do the total opposite. And if it means that they don't fund the BFF, then that's the way it be. Because at the end of the day, we'll continue to talk about it. And the reason why we did a deep dive into this mode, because if you recall, we had put forth a proposal at 75,000 US dollars, brother. And this thing continues to hurt. 75,000 US dollars. You got executive directors right now in the conservation community. What do you make in excess of that, man? In excess of that. And they think hard and give 75,000 US dollars, what may only benefit 10 fisher captain, 10 fisher folks, and three crew members, that are 30 people. 30 people most, they deny us. You understand? And then the same one will say, you guys have to go fish further because the shallow reef, they are under major stress. Now the scientists to come back and tell us, hey, across the commercial species, the decline. Up to now, you know, here a solitary word from the fisheries department. So my closing is, we had produced 2 documents, Mose. One that is referenced Code of Conduct for Responsible Fishing, because we recognize that we can't end everything today. We have to let it for our future people. And lastly, our Code of Conduct, where we call and we ask the government for 2 things. Specifically, one, we want one endowment. Just like how you give the conservation community 174 million US dollars, man, you must go give something to the fisher folks. 2, we want a revolving fund. Right now, the conservation, they have a revolving fund. Past and draw down for 4.2 million US every single year. Up to now, they're gonna get a $7 million loan through the IDB for the fisher folks, and up to now, fisher folks don't see nothing. So that's my plight, that's the fishers' plight, and we are continue this advocacy campaign every single time until we get the meaningful answers that we deserve.
My brother, give thanks for your very thorough presentation. I have to go to break, just so that people know this is the President of the Belize Federation of Fishers, Brother Nigel Martinez. Thank you for the call, bro.
Bless.
All right, we'll be back.
In Belize, we value our
All right, welcome back. This is WUB, Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes, Tuesday morning. We are out of time, so we have to wrap up on our ad break. I'll leave you with our ad break. Hope you have a great Tuesday. With health and strength, I come back here tomorrow morning. 6:30 for Wednesday morning WUB, Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. We give thanks to the team, Larry G at Creme Radio, the Glue at XTV, Mr. Cliff Lewis, and the controller, director this morning, Miss Krista Flowers. As always, stand strong, stand firm. For now, we're good!
Wake up, Billy!
When you bank your way, it's amazing